All right. Good morning and welcome to 5 Minutes More with Pastor. Today is Wednesday, August 26th. Welcome. It is a beautiful day, clear skies, cool morning. Should be another beautiful day like we've had the last couple of days. And so I hope you take full advantage of that. If you're watching this, today is a special day. We have reached episode, if you want to call it an episode, 100 of 5 Minutes More with Pastor. That is right. This is 100. How do you know that? We keep track of it. The Bible keeps track of it with me because we went Psalm 1. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I was about to say we went Psalm 1, Psalm 2, Psalm 2. We passed episode 100 a while back. I was thinking we did one Psalm every day, but remember, we took quite a couple weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks in Psalm 23. So I take that back. We are on Psalm 100. So we're past episode 100, but we're on Psalm 100. But Psalm 100 is very familiar. And sometimes I stop and do things because people think it's funny to text me in the middle of 5 minutes or more. The pastor, usually Daniel, and actually, it's usually church stuff. So we're trying to schedule recording for this week. And I asked him to move, and now he's giving me a hard time, telling me that he has to restructure his whole life just to help me to be able to record on Sunday for Sunday evening services. So he's giving me a hard time. So if you see me coming up here, that's what I'm doing. Like, get out of here, Daniel, right now. I'm trying to do 5 minutes or more with Pastor, especially since it's Psalm 100, a very well-known psalm, only 5 verses. So I'll read all of them to you. Good morning, Chris. Verse 1 says this: "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all you lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is good. It is he that made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture." Verse 4 is what I really want to focus on. "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name, for the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations." We probably sang the song at some point based on that very verse. "I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say, this is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad." That comes from there. These gates that are being spoken about are entering into the tabernacle of God in the Old Testament. So the psalmist, possibly David, was declaring that the correct way to worship is to first begin with thanksgiving. Can I tell you, you want to know a way to get your day started off right? Start with thanksgiving. Don't come to the Lord with what you need or want first. Start with thanking him. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings. Choosing to be grateful. A really interesting story comes from the hands of Matthew Henry. And let me just say this up front: if you ever want a really simple devotional type, um, or just really simple entry level commentary to the whole Bible, Matthew Henry's commentary is a great way to start. It's fairly simple and easy to read. It's succinct. One time, Matthew Henry wrote these words about gratefulness. He said this: he had just been robbed. Matthew Henry had been robbed, and he said, "Let me be thankful. First, because I've never been robbed before. Second, because although they took my wallet, they did not take my life. Third, because although they took all that I had, it was not very much. And fourth, because it was I who was robbed, not I who robbed." There's a beautiful example from this man about how to deal with the difficulties of life with joy, and not letting the difficulties of life rob us of joy. Being grateful in difficult circumstances is often the last thing any of us want to do, which is why we must choose to be thankful. That's why we must choose it at the very beginning, not wait on it and wait for things to happen. But on the first time we wake up, enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and I'm going to choose this from the very beginning to be thankful. Um, then David moves not from just thankfulness. It says, enter into his gates with thanksgiving heart and enter his courts with praise. He moved from thanking God to praising God. And yeah, there's a little bit of a difference here because the thanking God was for the kind of the things that happened in his life. The praising God had more to do with the attributes that make him God, things like his holiness, his faithfulness, his forgiveness, all of those different kinds of things. It goes on and talks about him being merciful and everlasting and truth and all of these kinds of things. The story is told of a pastor by the name of Martin Rinkart in 1636 during the darkness of the 30 Years' War. Apparently, history says that he had to bury 5,000 of his church members in 1 year. If you do the math, that comes out to 15 funerals a day. I mean, that sounds crazy, but who knows? I don't know. Um, but anyway, he was ravaged by war and death and economic disaster. And in the heart of all of this, in the middle of all this, Martin Rinkart sat down and wrote this prayer for his children. And many of you have probably heard this prayer. I'm going to recite it to you. These are the words he wrote. He says, now thank we all our God with heart and hands and voices, who wondrous things have done, in whom his world rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today. You know, this man obviously knew that thanksgiving comes from a heart full of love for God and is not dependent upon outward circumstances. Can I encourage you as you start your Wednesday to do something? Start with thanksgiving and praise. Thank God at the very beginning of this day for the good things he's done and for the good things that he is. And if you start your day that way, I think it could potentially be a really, really good day. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.